Thanks, Kyle. Today, of course, is Election Day, so our Decision 2018 coverage is the big story today.
Many of you will be going to the polls today. They open up at 7 a.m. They close at 9 p.m. Our state has one of the longest poll open times, that is, in the country. For a list of polling places, head to our website, KWWL.com.
And a big race we're following today is the governor's office. It's up for grabs.
Current Governor Kim Reynolds and her Democratic opponent, Fred Hubbell, are both looking to be elected for the first time. You're seeing some video from a gubernatorial debate held in Sioux City last month. Both candidates traveling across Iowa these past few months and making their final pushes these past few days. KWWL's Olivia Schmidt will be live all morning with what you can expect throughout the day. Olivia, you are live at a polling location in Cedar Falls.
Good morning, Allie and Daniel. It's a cold and rainy start to these midterm elections. I'm here at Bethlehem Lutheran Church here in Cedar Falls. And the race that we're all paying attention to, the big question of the day, who will be the next leader of our state? Now, Fred Hubbell is challenging current Governor Kim Reynolds. If elected tonight, Reynolds would become Iowa's first female governor. She took office in May 2017 when Terry Branstad was appointed U.S. ambassador to China. Her Democrat counterpart is a retired businessman. If elected, Hubbell would become the first Democrat to lead the state since 2011. And also on the ballot, Libertarian Jake Porter and Gary Sigworth. Now, there's no one here quite yet at this polling location, of course. That will all change in just a few hours. Again, the polls open today at 7 a.m. They close tonight at 9 statewide. I'll be here live all morning long to bring you the latest. Live in Cedar Falls, Olivia Schmidt, News 7 KWWL.
Olivia, thank you. And if you would like to double check your polling location this morning, we have a link on our website.
Another big race in our viewing area today is District 60. Republican incumbent Walt Rogers facing off against Democrat challenger Dave Williams. Today, District 60 covers parts of Black Hawk County. This race has gotten a lot of attention in just the past few weeks. Rogers is battling for his 5th term in the Iowa State House. Williams calls himself a newcomer to politics. And both candidates say they are eager to see what happens today. They're next-door neighbors in Cedar Falls. And we know more than 22,000 people voted early already in Black Hawk County.
Here's a look at the big line of people voting on Monday. However, the 2014 midterm still had a bigger turnout in Black Hawk County, but people still say the day was exciting.
I love it. This is really exciting just to get people out and vote, to practice their, that fundamental right to have their voices heard. We want to see this incredibly large turnout, so very happy to see it.
It's been an exciting election season, and we've had a lot of changes in the law, so we're trying things out that we haven't done before and trying to see how we can compare things to last time, so it's been very interesting.
And speaking of some of those law changes, you will be asked to show your ID. If you don't have one, you can still vote, but you will have to sign an oath, so be prepared for that. You're encouraged to bring one of the following on your screen for identification: an Iowa driver's license or non-operator's ID, a military ID, a U.S. passport, a tribal ID, a veteran's ID, or a voter PIN card. Beginning January 1st, Iowa voters will be required to show one of those forms of ID, so certainly keep that in mind. Today is the day, of course. After a record turnout for early voting, today Americans will decide who's in charge in Washington and in 35 states.
And Tracy Potts is in Washington with what's at stake.
We are going to win this race.
From Texas,
we have this chance to do something amazing,
to Arizona,
we know what's at stake.
Under the wire, man. To Florida.
Our folks are going to come out. They are fired up.
I want this community to know that they're not going to be forgotten.
Candidates across America are reminding voters what's at stake.
There's a big difference on health care, right?
She has voted against border funding.
Issues the next Congress will decide. 23 seats could determine who controls the House of Representatives. Polls favor Democrats, but record early voting makes those polls unpredictable.
It's impossible to tell in advance which ones are right and which ones are wrong.
Georgia's governor's race taking a nasty turn with racist phone calls, and one candidate, the Attorney General, investigating Democrats for hacking voter registration.
You cannot be the referee and the player.
I'm not worried about how it looks. I'm doing my job.
President Trump making his final argument late last night in Missouri.
Our opponents have been on a relentless campaign to obstruct, resist, demolish, defame, and destroy. You can stop them with your votes tomorrow.
Former President Obama in Virginia.
The character of this country is on the ballot.
Character on the ballot, with division in Washington driving the vote.
And the government is suggesting that Russia or maybe other foreign actors may still be trying to influence your vote. On a tip from authorities late last night, Facebook announced they're shutting down 100 accounts. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
And if you're planning on casting your ballot today, one race that has gotten a lot of coverage is the race for the 1st Congressional District. It covers quite a bit of eastern Iowa. Democrat Abby Finkenauer is taking on Republican incumbent Ron Blum. Both are Dubuque natives. Blum won in 2014 and 2016. If Finkenauer were to win, she would become one of few representatives under the age of 30 in the National House. She was elected to the Iowa House to represent Dubuque in 2014. She's been known to support working families in Iowa, small business, and being an advocate for women. Finkenauer is from Dubuque County. As we mentioned, Congressman Blum is the incumbent in the 1st Congressional District. He's a businessman from Dubuque. Some of his key issues are Social Security, agriculture, and the economy.
At 37, there are 3 other congressional races to watch here in Iowa. In the 2nd District, Democrat Dave Loebsack is up against Christopher Peters. The 2nd District includes Johnson, Cedar, Keokuk, and Washington counties. In the 3rd District, Republican David Young looking to stay in Congress over Cindy Axne. And Iowa's 4th District race there, the current Republican Congressman Steve King is seeking re-election. Democrat J.D. Scholten is his challenger. And Congressman King is originally from Storm Lake. He served in the Iowa Senate for 6 years. He was first elected to Congress in 2002 to represent Iowa's 5th Congressional District. Before redistricting happened there. And his challenger, J.D. Scholten, is 38 years old. He lives in Sioux City as a 5th-generation Iowan. He's had a legal career as a litigation paralegal. This is Scholten's first time running for office.
And there's also a race for Secretary of State. Republican incumbent Paul Pate is looking to keep his seat over Democrat Deidre DeGier. You can watch all of tonight's results unfold right here on KWL.
It all starts with Decision 2018 edition of the 5 o'clock news, and we'll have election coverage throughout the evening with winners on the KWWL news at 10 o'clock. You can also read up on all of the races and see live results online anytime at KWWL.com. 5:38 right now. New this morning, police arrested a man after he allegedly punched and choked the mother of his son over the weekend. Iowa City police arrested a Coralville man, Alvin Dale Jr. Abbott. And police say Abbott allegedly assaulted the woman multiple times. He went to her house to get his things, and that's when the alleged assault happened. Abbott is being held in the Johnson County Jail on a $55,000 bond.
On to a KWWL follow-up now. People packed a city council meeting.
And this is to raise concerns about public safety, a public safety program, that is. This happened in Cedar Falls. It was standing room only. Hundreds filled the council's chambers. Most had to stand in a hallway. Many wore red in opposition of the program. KWWL's Taylor Vessel was at that meeting.
You don't have this type of showing when you're doing a good job. There's concerns here. This is a big deal.
A sea of red filled the halls of Cedar Falls City Council. Close to 100 people turned up to speak out against public safety officer program in Cedar Falls.
This means our city is already very safe. Our officers are doing a great job. So why in God's name are you wanting to hire 50% more police officers? Staff our fire department properly.
Most spoke out against the program, but a few offered their support.
And I plead with you to stay the course, regardless of the pressures.
Mayor Jim Brown reading the denial letter he sent out when asked to put an item on the agenda to vote on having a public forum.
I will not allow a formal gathering whereby staff is barraged by a group of folks who have demonstrated the propensity to impugn staff and only seem to care about dividing our great community.
Former firefighter Sharon Reginald, who put in that request, responded.
This leads us to believe that you are not open to hearing from both sides. If you have already decided how this will end, you are not listening to your citizens.
It's a flawed and dangerous experiment that we've got going on here.
The vice president of District 2 for the International Association of Firefighters expressed his opposition and offered assistance.
We're very concerned on how this is going to end. And again, what I would offer is to work with the International Association of Firefighters, or law enforcement and get an outside, independent, third-party consultant expert to come in and assess what you have going on and get some help on putting this together.
And that was KWWL's Taylor Vessel reporting no public forum is currently scheduled.
But we'll continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest updates as we get them. Still to come this morning right here on Today in Iowa, a Powerball winner has come forward after winning a historic jackpot.
And a couple of cities are making it easier to get to the polls. You're watching Today in Iowa. The time right now, 5:41.